Tomorrow I am running my first ever proper ultra marathon, 50 kilometers through the woods, up and down the hills. Very, very excited. There is a kit list that requires me to have things like space blankets and first aid kits. We are clearly not just jogging around the block anymore. That normally means using this. This is my Hypervolt massage gun. I bought this thinking it would be pants, completely useless, waste of money, complete gimmick, and was very wrong, gladly. Because it was expensive. Watch the previous video. I absolutely love this. And so for tomorrow, I need to work my calves, my thighs, because everything aches. In fact, I'll explain why everything aches as well. All the medals are from this year. I started running stuff longer than a park run back in March. And since then I've gone a bit mad. 10Ks, half marathons, marathons, ultras, although not proper, I'll explain later. A ton of obstacle course races, and everything hurts. So that's where this is going to come in, and hopefully, well, it does relieve tight, sore muscles. It's also very good afterwards to recover from runs. Enough about why it's very good. That's in the other video. The purpose of this video, I put this video online, and the guys at Achedaway saw it and said, hey, can we send you a free Achedaway percussion massage gun and you compare it against your Hypervolt? I said, guys, you had me at free. First of all, it comes in its case. So 1-0 to Achedaway. When I bought the Hypervolt, it did not come with its own case. Now it does seem to, although that also appears to be something of a Black Friday deal. I hope they are now giving a case away with this thing, because it's hundreds of pounds. Okay, you can get very cheap stuff. Amazon is full of things at sort of 40, 50, 60 pound. They look like they've been modified from a power tool, and so I avoided those. I have no idea what those are like. If somebody out there wants to send me a free one of those, I'll have a look. There are then these in the middle. These range from the Achedaway, a few £100, the Hypervolt, a little bit more. I think I paid about £400 for it. And then there are devices that you can spend an awful lot more on. That to me seemed excessive, so I plumped for the Hypervolt because it's sat middle of the range. The Achedaway does appear to be a little bit cheaper, but it's definitely in the same ballpark. In terms of the specs, in terms of weight, one's 2.5 pounds, one's 2.7 pounds. Actually, the Achedaway is slightly heavier, but by fractions of a pound. Frequency of the pulsing that it can provide, they're both very similar. The Hypervolt goes from 2,000, 3,200 beats per minute. Achedaway 1,500 to 3,250. They both cover the same range, you just have less differences with the Hypervolt. So in terms of the specs, very, very similar. First of all, actually, let's look at what comes with the Achedaway, which is pretty comparable to the stuff that came with the Hypervolt, except it's in its own case, which we like a lot. You've got a charger lead, your black golf ball, pokey pokey ×2, the flat knobbly, and the one that I use nearly all the time has a little bit of give to it. In fact, this is the one from the Achedaway. It looks the same as the one on the Hypervolt. It is identical. There is clearly a factory in China churning out these to anybody that wants them. So let's put the identical attachment on, so we are comparing like for like. There is no difference that you can tell in weight, which is good because they're both pretty light. The great thing about these is you can just sit watching TV and use them, or as I've done, sit in the car. It's not like a big thing you're lugging around. It's in fact, it's more convenient to move around than it is a foam roller, which I can't find to show you, but you know what a foam roller looks like. Size-wise, almost exactly the same. The only significant difference is the Hypervolt has this big lump on top. Do I prefer the silver or the plain black? I don't care, as long as it's not bright green, although bright green might be quite cool. I don't care what it looks like. So they're the same weight, they look the same. Noise. The big deal for me, and the reason I went for the Hypervolt, was that I had been told that the cheaper ones make a racket. In fact, I've been told they sound like a power tool, which is not surprising because they look like converted power tools. The nice thing about the Hypervolt, bottom level, medium level, maximum. Kitchen whisk, there's a reference point for you. It's certainly not loud. In fact, I can sit and watch TV, listen to the radio, and I can use this at the same time. The Achedaway sounds pretty similar. 5 levels on the Achedaway. This is 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe slightly quieter. How do I explain this? The Hypervolt sounds like there's something loose inside it. There isn't, I hope. It's always sounded like that. So this is the Hypervolt. This is the Achedaway. That is a better noise. Doesn't have that kind of loose sort of rattly noise that the Hypervolt makes. So given there's so little between these, the Achedaway currently winning. I'm going to try the difference between them on me, but I doubt I could even tell which one's being used. I was climbing yesterday, indoor climbing, and my forearms are toast today. These things are so good. Much like when you get a sports massage or you foam roll, the minute you start applying the massager to your body, it hurts as you'd expect, but so quickly that pain goes away the way that it would do eventually with a sports massage or a foam roller. Basically, I just move the head of the massager around until I find the spots that are sore and tight. Within a matter of seconds, the pain dissipates, and I then move on to a new spot. That feels very good, and I can't believe this thing's going to feel any different. Exactly the same. Okay, this has turned out to be a really quick and simple review because there is nothing between these in terms of size, in terms of weight, in terms of feel when being used. The only difference is the noise. This one is a nicer noise than the Hypervolt, which is a little bit loose and rattly sounding. If you have a Hypervolt only, you will not be disappointed with it at all. And if it was cheaper, I'd say it's worth saving some money and ignoring the fact that it could be quieter over here. But it's not cheaper. So given the Achedaway is better value for money, and the one issue that's a big deal for me, quietness, is better as well, Achedaway wins. And because they gave it to me for free, I was kind of hoping that I'd be able to say either there was nothing in it or the Hypervolt was better and appear completely impartial. It kind of looks like I'm just saying send me free stuff and I'll say nice things, which is obviously not the case at all. Although I might, so do send me free stuff. Okay, I love it. I'm going to charge it up and I'm going to use it a little later on to make sure that I can run this race tomorrow. Here's the deal. It's a 50-kilometre run through the woods in Surrey. It is my first proper 50-kilometre run. I have done a 50k before. In fact, I've done 2, but they were flat, out and back 5k loops. Plod on, do 10 of the things, 50 kilometres, and get your ultra medal. So I did that, and it was great fun. Was it great fun? I did it. It was fine. But I almost felt a little bit cheating. Tomorrow's is not. You're running through the woods, you're supported by aid stations, but you've got to carry all your stuff with you that you need. It just feels like a different event. You need a space blanket for a start. They didn't have a space blanket requirement at the other one. It's race day. The sun is coming up. The hope is that I finish running before the sun goes too far down. Just checking the weather before I set off. Cold, it looks it. There's 4,500 feet of climbing almost. For reference, Snowdon in Wales is about 3,500 feet. So that'll be fun. There's a t-shirt, don't need a t-shirt. There's a medal, always need a medal. It is ridiculously cold, but the map is set. The car is warming, the sun is almost up, we are on the way. Petrol, water, snack for before I start, snack for when I'm running, although I've got others, and a double protein bar prize, which I only get to eat if I get wrapped up in under 6 hours. Now we're off. It is 9 o'clock, we set off at 9:30, so I need to go and quickly register and then get all my gear on. The plan of the race is to update at 10k, 20k, 30k, 40k, just before 50k, and at the finish. Coming up on 20k. Going to be around 2 hours something. Still on track for sub 6. So here we go. 30k done, still on track for under 6, but only just, and it is starting to hurt a lot. Trying to think if I could describe how much it hurts, but I can't, just a lot. Okay, 40k, 4 hours 50, which gives me over an hour to get the last 10k done. I've got 1 hour 10 minutes, should be no bother. About 5-6k ago I was feeling that it might be, not a pain, but had a little bit of food at the last aid station, feel alright. Well, I don't feel alright. My ankles hurt, my toes hurt, my leg, everything hurts. I don't feel alright. I feel okay enough to get it done. Stay there, it's very nice. Last 200 metres to go. Done. I thought I had it. I thought I was going to come under 6, but that last 10 kilometres was just so many steep hills. Luckily though, I do get to eat my protein bars because I've noticed I'm bleeding from my legs where I caught them on tree roots and stuff. And under the standard, if you do a sport and end up bleeding, you can knock a few minutes off your time rule. I kind of came in under 6. So I'm going to enjoy these and then do a proper review when I get home. It's the day after the race, Monday. I'm back in the garage, back in the cold garage. It is, see your breath, cold in here. It is very grim in the UK in December. The race was good. I came 79th out of nearly 300, so not too bad at all. Missed my 6 hour target by 2 minutes, but it was an incredibly hilly course, 4,500 feet of climbing, rutted, muddy terrain, very tricky. We were out in the middle of nowhere. We weren't, we were in Dorking in Surrey, but it felt like the middle of nowhere, in the woods, a proper ultra marathon. And everyone around me had big beards and looked like ultramarathon runners. So I felt very immersed in that world. There's flapjacks and everything. Gear review. Aftershocks. I love these things. They lasted the entire 6 hours, 2 minutes. Battery still on them when I got home. Low, but still a bit of battery. Very pleased with those. The watch was awesome. Fenix 6X timed me, kept my pace, kept me on target almost. Put the course on it as well, downloaded the route on it. There were at least 4, if not 5 times where if I hadn't had the course on here, I'd have gone wrong. And so would the people that were asking me which way we're supposed to be going. So really, really useful. Love the watch anyway, love it even more now. And I feel pretty good today. Considering I ran a long way yesterday, I feel all right. I used the Achedaway as soon as I finished. Really, really good. Used it on my calves in particular, which were really tight. And again, this morning, right now, I feel fine actually. I almost feel like I could go for a run. I'm not going to. That'd be mad. But I almost feel like I could. I'm now having a week of rest. Going to Egypt actually, because in Egypt you can't see your breath because it's hot and sunny. Going to play with my new GoPro dome, half in the water, half out the water photo gadget thingy in the sea. Check back in a week for that. That's it. You go away for one day and your house gets covered in Christmas tree lights.